All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. My name is Fish Dix, and I'm joined by Bird to bring you the Tespa tournament. Of course, this is the Training Grounds promotional match between University of Ottawa and University of Toronto. The winner of this best of 7 will be in on the arena side of the bracket, where the loser will be dropped down to relegation. This time it's called skirmish. So. Yep. Yeah. So what we're talking about, what's on the line here, is basically who gets to stay in the collegiate Tespa, the pro side of the bracket, and who gets dropped down. Of course, this isn't the last chance. This is the second to last chance to remain in arena. So the team that loses today will still have a chance at making it on over to the arena side of the Tespa Overwatch training grounds. But still, lots on the line. You don't want to drop down. You don't want to be put in that spot. And these two teams, we're going to find out very shortly, Bird, who's going to make it and who's going to drop.
Yeah, definitely. And Fish Six, this is going to be one of the big ones. I mean, Ottawa, we totally don't know too much about them. They do have somebody in the top percentile that's supposed to be on the team right now. They're not here, but hopefully we will see Telfair come out from there. Lowlives / University of Toronto, you've seen them quite a bit in the Tespa series of tournaments. Anything about them that kind of stands out?
I got a chance to cast this team in the Tespa Collegiate Finals a couple of months back, and they did quite well. I mean, they made it to the Final Four of the last season of Tespa Collegiate, so that definitely means that this team is looking to make a statement here, and the fact that they could be dropped down to skirmish is actually a pretty big deal. Definitely for the Toronto fans, after such a great performance last season, are not going to be very pleased if they do drop down in the end. I haven't seen much out of this Ottawa squad, so not really sure what to expect, but did do a little bit of snooping around the player profiles and saw that almost everyone on both teams is at the very, very top end of Masters, low GM, all the way up to top 500. So basically everyone on both teams is within that range, Bird.
Yeah, so we're going to have a pretty even matchup, at least skill-wise, for this one. Will the players come out? Also, T Pineapple is coming in as the sub for Telfair. Will the actual play come out to, synergize with the team? Because, if you're playing with an off member of your team, maybe you scrimmage with them sometimes, but overall, it is a little bit of a letdown or letdown coming into this. So we do have a pause coming up, and we'll see how we can go from there.
Guys, just for if you're wondering what Bird's talking about, Telfer was the 6th man of University of Ottawa. He's actually the reason. Not to throw him under the bus, but I guess I am going to throw him under the bus. But he is the reason we were a little bit late. We were waiting for Telford to come in, and he actually is still missing in action. So Ottawa playing with a stand-in this time with a substitute. We'll see if that hurts them here. I actually haven't checked out his profile yet, so I'll just give that a little snoopy snoop and see where he's at. But guys, we're going to jump into it. Kings Rose, the first game of the day. It's a best of 7. Loser goes down to skirmish. Winner goes on up to the arena. We'll see who comes out on top. It's going to be defending first will be Ottawa. On attack will be Toronto. And we'll see what kind of compositions we see coming out for this attacking team. Did I just miss that up? Toronto's attacking. Toronto is, of course, attacking. Will we see a dive comp? It's almost always dive comps these days. The current meta just favors this composition so much. Lots and lots of teams are running it in every situation. It does look like Toronto's going to start out with the dive comp first.
Yep, aggression is key, and at the first point of Kings Row, it's going to be pretty important for Mr. Bleepy to kind of get that situation where they can actually split the team. But we're going to see some harassment coming into play. T Pineapples and everybody else can get up in the side. Then Blippy going to go in the end, and they're going to get engaged on Team Pineapples going to get the first engage off.
All right, so right off the bat, Ottawa looking pretty strong here. It's an interesting dive comp, though, out of Toronto. They've got a McCree in there, which is not something you often see in this type of dive comp. They've only got 1 tank with Winston, and it's 3 DPS. But, this is not all that uncommon. We've seen teams like Rogue do this all the time, actually. This is basically the Rogue composition, except for they don't run McCree. They more frequently run a Pharah in that position, or even 76. So a little bit interesting. Wonder if we're going to see any switch up, but no harm, no foul. It's just the first push. Toronto back to the drawing board, going to try it one more time.
Yep, just testing out the waters, seeing what they can do. It's a good hold coming up from Ottawa. And yeah, we'll see how it goes in. And then again, we're going to be in, and you're going to see the Sean Bear going down.
Hard engaged there coming out for Toronto, but I'm not seeing a ton of coordination. Tracer wasn't really with the Winston. No kills yet on either side. Ultimate's being drepped left, right, and center. On ult gonna come out. There's an Earth Shatter as well. This team's still 5v5 on the point though, as the battle rages onwards. Very hectic as the fight is in all kinds of areas here. Looks like Toronto is edging out a tiny little bit of a advantage here, but it's not very significant. Their respawns are going to start coming in for Ottawa, so still definitely a chance for them. And this is actually starting to look better and better for Toronto as they're eking out more and more percentage, eking out more and more of a man advantage. But still, one more chance here for Ottawa to try and stop this. But it actually looks like they're going to be more than happy to hold here on the Streets phase.
It was a really interesting decision coming out from Lowlives / University of Toronto. They had to split up their forces just because of the chaoticness that Ottawa was kind of go in. Kif learned out his sound barrier quite early on that fight, so no extra health coming into that. In the end, just the split up coming in from pretty much all the DPS of Ottawa, just cutting him down.
And really standard stuff on the defensive lineup here for Ottawa, but actually look at this positioning. Kind of interesting stuff. They're getting hyper aggressive. They have the positioning to do it, but Lair coming straight through that Reinhardt shield, gets the Deadeye, takes down 2, and actually I don't even know if that sound barrier totally necessary out there for Funana, as they already had a 2-man advantage, but this is surely going to mean that Toronto will easily be able to push on all the way up to this next right up to this next checkpoint. Ottawa will have one more chance to try and delay here, but this is a really risky spot. Obviously, you want to stop them before they get to the next checkpoint, but if you die in this scenario, then you just give away even more free push. And but we'll see. Ottawa definitely going to make a push here. They don't have a lot of ultimates to their name, but they do have the ever-important Graviton Surge, and actually quite close to a whole lot of ultimates here, Bird.
Yeah, they're going to have the ultimate advantage, probably going to the fight. If they engage right now, though, they're not going to have that, and oh my gosh. We'll see how we go.
Oh, Oni actually charges straight through the entire team, misses everything. So Toronto already with a big advantage, and Lair's going for it again. He's going to get the kills. Of course, he's got that nano boost on him, make that Deadeye all the more deadly. And so far, Toronto has, except for that first push, they've been completely unimpeded so far.
Yeah, you're saying Ottawa just not really doing too much with the defense hold. Toronto just pushing right through it, like you're saying. Liking how the comp's going with Lair. I mean, we were questioning the McCree before this, but just
it's working out so far.
It's working out so well.
Oh, here comes the big Graviton, sucking in almost everyone from Toronto. So this is the first time in quite some time that Ottawa will eke out an advantage. It's significant. They're going to be able to stagger some kills here as well, of course. Every stagger means so much in this position. And actually, they maintain a nice ultimate advantage as well. So Ottawa still looking fairly strong. They've switched up the composition just slightly. No longer running 76 and switching over to McCree. So is this the resurgence of McCree? I feel like Taimu single-handedly is making McCree popular again.
Headshot, dead shot. We're going to see how that kind of goes around as we do see the engagements about to start up. It's really interesting to see, but we do see Placebo on the backside trying to get a Deadeye. Gets one. We'll see a little bit of hangover down, and we do see the hold for now, but a little bit of ults wasted while on the other side. Lives really not doing too much with that.
Yeah, hard to say that the ults are quote-unquote wasted in that scenario. That said, the advantage now has shifted solidly over to Toronto. They'll be able to engage with the sound barrier in this next fight, as well as nano boost, and they've got the Deadeye. The Deadeye has worked every time it's come out for Lair thus far, and expecting to see that happen again. But whoa, talk about an Earth Shatter! Are you kidding me? 5 players for Toronto knocked onto their asses. Really nice stuff out of that's Oni actually. Oni with a really big Earth Shatter there.
Huge Earth Shatter. This delay just a little bit more. It was seeming that we're going to have a snowball just effect, just coming in, Toronto just rolling right through. Now, third point, slowing down a little bit. Both teams have to reset their mindset because, yeah, we are still in the match, and Talon actually going to switch out. Soldier's just 76.
So Mr. Bleeple switched off Winston now and is playing Reinhardt for this last position. Last part of King's Row, and I think that does make sense. Of course, it's a fairly narrow area, but Mr. Bleeple making it happen. Earth Shatter hits 3, but no kills yet. Okay, there's the first kill starting to trickle in as they switched on over to double hit scan for University of Toronto, and that should certainly be enough to get them very close to the end here. They're going to stagger the kills. T-Pineapple have also staggered there, so it's going to have to be a trickle-in defense coming from Ottawa. Of course, they will have a chance to delay, but it's going to be tricky. Obviously, they're not going to have time to get fully together and make this happen. They've got to go now. They've got to go here, and big Earth Shatter, or excuse me, big Graviton does suck in quite a few of Toronto. Still 5-on-5 on the point. Lair's going to be dropping a big Deadeye, but still quite even here, Bird, as it does look like Toronto's going to set a time. But not a fantastic. I mean, that's a good time. Don't get me wrong. Still minute 51 on the clock for Toronto, but not quite as good as it was looking for a little while there. I mean, they got to that last checkpoint with what, 4 minutes 30 on the clock. So valiant effort there by Ottawa in the end.
Still crazy coming out from Ottawa in the sense that they actually held. So that's really good. They held on the first point and they held on the third point, but that second point defense was quite lacking. We'll see how they can come out for their offensive side. Are they going to run in a little bit of a dive comp like Lowlives, like the University of Toronto will do? Or will they're going to be running out the defensive McCree, running in again? Man, this McCree. I love the play. I just, wow, this is actually
it's
really
been working out. It's been working out. That's an understatement, actually. Lair's been making it happen. He's actually the highest ranked player on this Toronto squad. He's currently sitting in top 500, so no big surprise to see him being a real playmaker for the team. And yeah, I think the interesting thing to be looking out for in this match is the propensity for dive comp or not. A lot of teams, the Korean teams right now are running dive comp almost all the time. Winston is like 85% pick rate in Korea at this moment in time. You see teams like Rogue, who's like currently by far the most successful North American squad in North America right now. And they exclusively run dive comp. They don't touch Reinhardt ever. But will that? I mean, you got to play to your comforts, though. So we'll see what Ottawa ends up going with. It does not look like they're going to be rocking the dive comp.
Yeah, Triple Tank actually going to be the answer for this one. T Pineapples. I was looking at his player profile. It looks like he plays mostly only Roadhog. So maybe just keeping him on the comfort zone. Hopefully, it'll work out.
I mean, that's like the alternative to dive comp, right? Roadhog-based compositions where you're focusing on those hooks. Yep. Let's see how they do here. Yeah.
Yep. Here we go. Ottawa's going to try to start this one up, down right now. See how they can kind of start up this matchup. Keebles and try to hold up on the defensive side on the start, and we'll see where they want to actually attack from. They're going to attack from the hotel, or we're going to actually attack from the other side. As we are.
Pretty passive attack here so far out of Ottawa. It seems as though they're very much looking for these picks. That's what they're hoping for. And this is interesting. McCree is coming all the way up behind Soldier 76. It's McCree versus 76. Talon S in a defensible position, though. Man, they have to unfettered behind the entirety of Ottawa. They're on the point. They're getting percentage. Talon's still in a great position, though. They haven't decided to tackle him. They don't have a dive comp, so they can't get up there. And Ottawa, they got a couple percentage points, but it's not enough.
Talon just in free roam in the backside. When DPS, damage per second player is just going to wreck everything around you. It's always going to be a bad day. Talon just getting clear rain. Although the ticks did come in and happen, and we got the first tick down. Lowlives going to have a good defense for the first hold. We'll see everything reform yet again around the statue.
All right, Toronto. Oh, nice. Zarya bubble keeping Mr. Bleeple fully up there as he gets the first kill. And this is back to the drawing board for Ottawa again. They got to wait for the Reinhardt, who does have Earthshatter now, and see what they can do. Mr. Bleeple actually going to get a nice stagger. T Pineapples out of the action for another 20 seconds here. And they have to wait. They can't push without that Roadhog. Let's take a look at the ultimates. It's going to be a ton. We're going to have a showdown in this next engagement. It looks like 5 will be up for both teams somewhere in this next engagement. Question is, who's going to hit the big Earthshatter, that ever-important Earthshatter? Also, Graviton, a little bit of an advantage now for Ottawa. They're going to have a window where they have Grav, and Toronto does not. Can they take advantage of that?
They also have high ground advantage, so they're going to try to keep it going with that version. But Sleep is going to take the first one out, so let's see if they go.
Absolutely massive kill, but Lair in the back, he's standing still. He doesn't even need to move. No dice, though, excuse me, with that Deadeye. Ottawa finally eking out an advantage. Another Earthshatter. Earthshatters on both sides. Ultimates, every ultimate has been dropped in this engagement, but Ottawa finally coming out on top with 90 seconds left on the clock.
Picking up that first kill was probably pretty important, but Oni with the tank play yet again. He had the earlier 5-man Earthshatter. Now he had that block onto Lair to actually mitigate the damage within the shield. Nice little plays coming up from the tanks. Ottawa to get off the first point.
You know, Bird, I've watched many hours of competitive Overwatch. You know, probably between the hours of comp that I've played and watched, I'm somewhere in like the 1,200 hours, maybe more. The more I watch this game, the more I start to think Earthshatter might be the best ultimate in the game. Yes, it's hard to hit, But when you hit a big Earth Shatter, it doesn't even matter what other ultimates the other team has got in the docket. If you hit 3, 4, 5 people with that Earth Shatter, it changes absolutely everything.
If you can't do anything, that's pretty important. And the Earth Shatter just stunning you down for the ground. That's pretty good. Talon getting backed up by the side. Placebo going to take the first pick.
All right, a little bit of an advantage here for Ottawa as they continue to push forward. Here comes that nano boost as well. Going to keep the advantage going, and this is certainly going to be a nice little push for Ottawa. They're going to be staggers as well. Lair down. Henry will surely fall now as well. Stay alive as long as you can, but honestly, you want to die in that situation. You're like, please, kill me, get me, allow me to respawn here. That said, Ottawa in a position to come back, and they have the ultimate advantage, although they won't have it for long. It's going to be a couple of ultimates coming up right in quick succession. Sound Barrier, Pulse Bomb, even Graviton as well for Ottawa, so they could hit that big bang combo. Both teams stacked for the team.
Let's see how it goes. We start on the Graviton Surge going down. Lair in the backside, not going to get a Tespa bomb, but Placebo with a freaking amazing ult coming out in the end. Still going to be pushing up, and we're still going to see the cleanup. Talon's going to be the last one going down. My word, Placebo just rocking it down with the Pulse Bomb.
Yeah, that's clearly one of the best combos in the game, and it's funny. Back when Toronto was on attack, it looked like they were completely rolling, dominating. Yet, now look at the clock. Ottawa has 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, Toronto's time here. So still a great opportunity to do so. That said, this push, down and out. This push is gone and dead as Bleeple hits a big Earth Shatter. And Ottawa will have to try again on the last portion here of King's Row. And can they set a better time? They have 1 minute to do it. A little bit over a minute to do it. Certainly looking very possible, in fact, very likely. Oh, actually, super aggressive push here by Toronto, catching Ottawa with their pants down. In that situation, you don't often expect that the defending team will push out quite that far, but Toronto, very decisive move, gonna stagger Ottawa just that much longer, and even Placebo now going down as well. So another 20 seconds where they're gonna have to wait for Placebo to get back into the fray. That said, Ottawa with another chance to make it happen, trying to set a time similar or even better than Toronto.
Yeah, Ottawa's playing a little bit too frantically right now. As you see the
Lair
on the backside, holy moly there, and the push still coming in. Lowlives do not even want to play this very safely. They're just going to clear out a 5k coming up from Lair right over there.
Wow. Lair just made his way all the way into the back line. He got the high ground. And that's one of the best ways to use McCree's ultimate, is coming from the flanking angle where the enemy team may not see you right away or may not even have an opportunity to get out of your line of sight. So Lair once again making it work, because McCree hasn't been quite as strong on defense, but just now trying to make that turnaround. Big, Placebo gonna hit a triple with the Pulse Bomb Graviton combo, and Ottawa pushing ever closer. 1 minute and 50 on the clock. They're no longer in the range where they can beat the time set by Toronto, but they could still set a time. Remember, folks, though, they want to do it with with more than a minute left, because if they get less than a minute, they're going to be adding time to Toronto's clock.
Yep, and we do see Earth Shatter going right down. We're going to see Peoples trying to get up on his air, and we're going to get another Earth Shatter, but it's not going to be as effective. Team Idol is going to be sitting around, and here we go with Lair yet again. Going to get hooked, no, Pineapple's going to deny that one. But just a chaotic fight all around. Not on the point, so they're not even going to have a progression for this one, but can they push off everybody else? Oni going to hold off at the end, going to be at Talon, and Talon's going to be the last man.
Whoa, they got it! They got it with the Diva right there. Mr. Bleeple was just a few centimeters away from the point. I can see the C9 chants in chat happening in my mind. We're on a 3-minute delay, so I'll have to wait for that. But unfortunate for Toronto, they were actually ahead in that fight significantly at a certain point. They weren't able to take down Placebo, though. I gotta give it to Placebo. Time in and time out on that attack there, Placebo was definitely the MVP. It wasn't just the pulse bombs. In that last fight, Placebo survived. When his team was down 1 or 2 players, Placebo was racking up the damage, getting the kills. He actually 1v1'd to McCree. He 1v1'd to Lair in the very end there to make that possible. At the same time, if you're on Toronto, you gotta be feeling a little bit down about that last engagement, because they could have delayed. Let's be honest. They had Diva in there. I think the Diva might have been knocked off the point by maybe a Reinhardt hammer swing or something like that.
She barely made it, if anything. Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunate for Toronto, and very, very similar times set by both teams. So we got a game, Bird.
We definitely got a game, even with Team Pineapples coming out at the end with the whole hog. I liked the plays coming out from both teams. Placebo definitely the detractor of the Toronto side. We'll see how they can control him down if Placebo can get some good shots. Thinking they're just going to use both the Widowmaker and the Hanzo as a little bit of slight practice, see what we can get. Thinking to pick, and they're going to switch off.
Yeah, we're going to have switch ups here. Seeing if they could go for something cheeky. Did not pan out. I mean, this is something we've been seeing since like the very earliest days of the beta, especially here on the first point of King's Row. Yeah, throw out a scatter arrow, throw out a sonic arrow, see if you can get some kind of advantage from that. But they will be switching over to this pretty much the same composition as last time.
Yeah, Placebo on this Tracer has been pretty much a mess in the lines for Lowlives. Toronto has to kind of figure out what they want to do with this. On the other hand, going in the same engagement, only going to block out on Beetle's startup. Using contestation starting up right now.
All right, and both teams are aggressively in each other's face. Nobody has died yet. Both Reinhardt shields. This is the battle of the Reinhardt shields. Whoever goes down first, big deal. But man, we've seen Oni with a couple erroneous charges in a row. Or not in a row, but in this map so far. That said, Ottawa eking out a huge advantage, and this is actually a great moment for them. They only had 1:10 on the clock, but they're going to capture this first point with ease. And we'll see how far they can push it. I mean, the streets phase can often be a difficult area to defend, so we'll see how far they can push it here on the streets.
Yeah, but the street phase technically and throughout this whole match has been pretty lackluster, so hopefully both teams can kind of defend out, because I feel like both teams will get there. Right now in OT, Ottawa needs to push it as far as they can, get some semblance of defense.
Oh, that's a huge hook.
That is a huge hook coming up.
Incredibly massive. Ton of ultimates for Ottawa, though. They have the massive ultimate advantage. Can they do anything with it? Placebo will get once, but it's still just a 5v5. Here comes the Diva ultimate. It's going to push everybody off for Ottawa. Ottawa is looking in a bad situation here. They're dropping like flies. They will get the first point capture, but just barely. This basically means that all... I mean, you don't see this very often. You don't see a situation where one team captures that first point, but then literally doesn't even push behind the gates. So, I don't know. This is kind of even. I don't want to say either team has a big advantage, because if you remember when Toronto was attacking, it took them about 1.5 minutes to capture that first point, which is about as much time as they have on the clock. So we'll see. Can they do it? Can they get an early pick? Can they make it happen with a dive comp, perhaps, on attack here?
We'll see how it kind of goes. Placebo was effective on the first part for the overtime round, but unfortunately not going to be taken out until the end. We'll see how Kiff and everybody else of University of Ottawa can kind of formulate a plan to actually defend. I mean, they only had one good defense first time in the first match, so see how it kind of goes out from this one. On the other hand, Talons with a big hook on the last one. Going to be switching over to McCree. See if that actually is going to be sticking it right through. But Lair, everybody else, if they can get some good advantages on some high ground, as made the case. And ooh.
Poor Kiff, the Lucio player for Ottawa, saying that hook was insane. Yeah, that, oh man, that hurts, getting that hook before the fight even started. Kiff was out of the action. And, you know, obviously, if you're down 5v6, you're in a bad spot. But especially in this current patch, losing your Lucio that early, when you're all bunched up on the point like that, Lucio actually heals a lot more in the current patch than he used to. He also does a lot more damage. So, you know, while in previous patches losing Lucio is a big deal, it's an even bigger deal now.
Yeah, the changes have done amazing things for him. I mean, a lot of people were very iffy about it once off the PB, but I mean, we've seen Lucio be a solo healer for some competitive matches out there. So it's something to behold if Kiff can play it out well. But getting picked off early, I mean, T-Pineapples did it for the first point for the last round we just saw. Unfortunately, Kiff gave it and picked up on the other side. Definitely changed the tides for this one. Still in the pause, and we'll see how we can get around on this one. But Fishsticks, I wasn't really expecting this, especially with the sub coming into the play. This has been a pretty entertaining match so far.
Yeah, it's very close. We'll see. All right. Well, last chance for Toronto. They have 1:50 on the clock to get that payload pushed just barely out of the gates. I think they could do it. I think they have what it takes, especially if they play a dive composition. You know, I do like the Zarya pick. in situations like this, because you can usually get that Graviton in about a minute and a half, minute 40 or so. And Graviton, so many things in combo with that. But let's see, Lara is actually going to start out with Widowmaker. Let's see if he can get an early pick.
No picks, just in the sight, and probably going to switch out. He's going to actually pick up to the Roadhog.
No dive comp. I don't actually like this. I think they should have stuck with the dive comp. It worked for them last time.
Yeah.
Dive comp's so strong right now.
They want to just switch it back and see on the top side over by the apartments. Be able to get some good damage. Gonna be a menace. Not really surprised to see, but really the switch up coming from Lair and Talon. Switch up on their mains. It's interesting to see if this McCree is gonna be effective from Talon.
All right, both teams posturing, trying to see who wins the shield battle. Oni's shield is much lower, but Oni with the Fire Strike gonna take out Talon S early in this fight. There's Oni with the super aggressive charges though. I hesitate to call one person out too much, but Oni has had a lot of charges that have whiffed completely. That said, Ottawa still in the fight. Oh, wow, that's a quick Graviton, getting it in just about 50 seconds already with the Graviton, and that will be all that Toronto needs, and this is looking ugly for Ottawa. They may have a chance. They may just barely have a chance. In fact, it's actually okay for them. I take it back. Because Toronto has not capped the point yet, it looks like all of Ottawa have been able to spawn at the close spawn. No one got the bad spawn, so they still have a chance, just barely. They have to make it happen here and now. One clean wipe is all that Ottawa needs. Here come the ultimates with Earthshatter from Mr. Bleepo. Will go into that shield, but there comes another one from Oni. It's back and forth, still 5v5 on the point. This is the last chance for Ottawa. They have to make it happen. Here comes a big Graviton for Ottawa. Can they pull this back? Not enough damage. The big Ana nade keeping everybody alive there for Toronto. That Ana nade actually saved them the game 100% because of Ana's healing there. Everyone from Toronto stayed alive in that Graviton surge. But man, talk about a close game, Bird. Will be Toronto coming out on top. But that was nail-bitingly close to the end.
Good team coordination at the end, Toronto. I mean, Ottawa, my word. I gave my props to you. Oni probably going to get the play of the match, I would believe. But amazing stuff coming up from both teams for this one. Or Lair with the, I believe it was a 3-5.
Which one of the, oh, it was the flaky flake. Nice big flake. Only gets one kill off the Deadeye there, but able to pick up a whole lot more as soon as the Nano Boost does come into play. Yeah, Gravitons were the story of that game in a way. Both teams hitting huge Gravitons. And man, that clutch on a nade really changed absolutely everything in that last fight, because the Grav for Ottawa sucked in 4 of Toronto's players. It was still very even at that point. That was exactly what they needed. And they had Toronto, Oni, the Reinhardt player from Toronto, was swinging away with Reinhardt right into the middle of everyone, getting those juicy hits on every single player as they were sucked into the Graviton. But Ana's healing kept everyone alive.
I've heard that Ana's pretty good character, still being nerfed to the ground sometimes. But yeah, she's still doing some really good things. AoE healing, always one of the best things in the game. And Ana / Toronto's thinking that right now, because yeah, that would have been a very deadly fight. The Reinhardt was not touched at all during that whole sequence right there, but it was just not enough damage. And well, Lowlives, they do take the first game, but still best of 7 series for this promotion match.
All right, does look like Lijiang is the choice. The format for this is a loser chooses the next map. So this will be Ottawa's choice now as we do move on to King of the Hill for the first time. If you're just tuning in, welcome. My name is Fishsticks. I am joined by Bird, and we're casting for you today the Tespa Trading Grounds. Of course, this is the promotion match. So loser of this will drop down to the skirmish, and winner will maintain their position in arena. Mentioned a little bit earlier in the cast, Toronto was in the top 4 of the Tespa Collegiate Series last season. So I would say at this point, without knowing too much about Ottawa, it would certainly be an upset if Toronto were to drop here.
Again, Ottawa not playing with their full squad as well. We will have to mention that a few times. We'll see if I forget off the top of my head, but Tina Pineapple does get replaced. He is the sub, but we'll see how it kind of goes about. Lijiang, I love the boops
Beautiful.
and plays. We'll see how we can boop it off. I mean, Lucio is definitely going to be in here. We'll see how the supports.
Well, I mean, Lucio is right now in the pro scene. If you check out some of Captain Planet's meta reports, you will see that Lucio currently across all of the scenes has like a 98.5% pick rate. He's by far the highest pick rate out of any character in the game. Basically, every team plays him in every situation, but even more so is he strong on maps like this.
Yeah, position is going to be pretty key. And one thing you were talking about for the first match, Oni did have some interesting questionable run charges. He's going to be playing off on the Zarya. Coming over there, and Placebo going to go down.
All right, it's 5v5. Quite a difference in compositions, though. Toronto, interestingly enough, sticking with a more tanky Reinhardt-based composition. On the other side, we've got also kind of a weird composition. It's triple tank, but with a Winston. So neither team is really doing the standard dive comp that we tend to see more and more on King of the Hill. Genjis, Tracers, Winstons focusing on that dive. A lot of teams are running with Zenyatta, so neither team really fitting into what's become kind of standard in the pro scene for King of the Hill.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see kind of retract back to a very slow comp coming from both sides. Do you have the first advantage coming out for Toronto for this one? Let's see how it kind of goes around. Keenan is going to get a hook, but get hooked back right as well. Looks like we're going to play some aggressiveness yet again from Lowlives.
Yeah, interesting. Mr. Bleeple previously playing tank for Toronto. He's actually on Pharah now. And of course, every Pharah player loves this map. It's a really, really fun one to play with Pharah, not just because you can boot people off the ledge, which is fun, don't get me wrong, but you have a lot of maneuverability. There's so much airspace that Pharah can move around in. But actually, this is a risky position for Bleeple. He will eventually move back. Uh-oh, Bleeple. He's gonna be okay. Looking for a barrage, perhaps. But Bleeple playing with fire here. He's been just right in the face of the enemy team constantly. I'm not sure why they're not focusing him. A single McCree headshot will take Pharah down so far, and Bleeple will eventually be punished. That said, this fight, it's a 2v2. You don't see this very often. 2v2, still up. It is going to be Ottawa taking the point as Toronto not in position. And look at the Reinhardt for Toronto. He's in a terrible position. This Reinhardt will not survive. And that means that... actually, gonna back off. Okay.
Primary is going to come down, and we're going to see if we're going to see the situation. The backside is going to have the Earth Shatter go down, but we're going to see a lot of ults, chaoticness ensuing yet again. But this time, Toronto has 4 to 5 members right now on the point. Going to be able to push off Talon with a whole hog, cleaning up the masses.
Wow, Toronto really turned that around after early advantage for Ottawa. They're up to 70%, so at this point, only one solid attempt left for Ottawa to try and take over point 1. Here on Lijiang Tower. Let's see if they can do it. They've got the sound barrier to engage, but basically nothing else whatsoever to their name. Kip does get an early kill, though. So Kip dropping the sound barrier, getting that first kill. This is going to be all Ottawa needs. They're up 6 versus 4, and I see no way that Toronto survives this onslaught. As that said, the silver lining for Toronto is they've gotten to the point where if they're able to recap, and they will have multiple opportunities to do so, they will take this first point.
Yeah, and they're going to have the ultimate advantage coming back into this one. 2 ultimates going to be up pretty much. Placebo is going to be only one for Ottawa to actually try to contest on the other side. But we do have a little bit of time. Toronto's going to play this out a little bit slowly. Bleeple trying to get some hooks from the Rockets from Pharah.
Kip again.
Ooh.
Kip has opened up 2 fights in a row now with an early kill on Kip. Kip is going nuts. This Lucio's fragging out, boys. That said, Toronto's still in an okay position. No, it will be Ottawa fighting back. Even though this has been back and forth, there's no way for Lair to 1v2 in this situation. And Toronto back to the drawing board. They do have 2 engagements left. 2 engagements left. Which ultimates will be coming up in this next fight? It will be a sound barrier, a Deadeye, and of course that whole hog for Toronto on the other side. No support ultimates up. So using that sound barrier to engage could be exactly what Toronto needs to take the win here. Oh, Bleeple, risky
denied
play.
so early. Talon going to be on the backside, going to be able to pick off one, but he's going to get denied as well. Placebo using the Deadeye and try to hold off as much as he can, but I think this is pretty much a run fight until We see everybody else back up on the backside. Whoops, my words. Caster Chris coming in. And looking like Lowlives. They're going to capture this point and probably even take the game.
All right. Yeah, they will be taking this first point here, Toronto. After a hard fight, though. Ottawa, that actually flipped between Ottawa and Toronto, I believe, 4 or 5 times during the course of that game. So, again, continuing the trend of the first map, it's absolutely pretty close match between these two teams. Two collegiate teams hailing from the north, the Great White North. Two Canadian teams, of course, Toronto and Ottawa, going at it for pride and, of course, maintaining their position in the collegiate Tespa series arena. They want to stay in the arena. See who can do it.
Both teams definitely improving their worth for now. Again, best of 7 series, so we're going to see a lot more coming up. Second point for Lijiang. Lowlives / University of Toronto. They're going to have the advantage, at least for this one. We'll see if they can keep it up on to this phase.
All right, here we go. On to the market phase we go. Teams will clash, but the early positioning advantage does look like it's going to Toronto. They're bullying Ottawa back into their spawn. Ottawa backed away almost immediately. Talon has just 1 pixel. He could go down. A nicely placed rocket from Bleeple is all they need. And a big advantage now shaping up for Toronto. They will get first cap here on the market phase. And Ottawa, you know, neither team playing with the dive, a real true dive bomb. It does look like Ottawa has shifted a little bit more in that direction, but they've still got the McCree. And funnily enough, people used to think of Zarya as like a must-have on all dive comps. It's not really the case anymore. Of course, you can still run Zarya as part of dive comps, but it's not really the quintessential dive comp in 2017.
I can see it because you get the shields for the saves, and you can actually back up from a far distance. Placebo going to be taking out the first pick right over there. Talon going to be taken out, but we do see the boosted Zarya off on this one. Oh, he's going to get anywhere from this.
Okay, I play a lot of Zarya. When you have 100 charge and your Ana boosted, oh man, that is quite a feeling. The power that you have in that situation. But it's actually a reversal of fortunes as Oni's the one with the nano boost. This time, Bleep will drop into Earth Shatter. We'll be able to only take down 1 there, but that's plenty. Bleep will take down 3. Gets 2 with a single fire strike there. Not bad. But looks like we'll have a pause coming out for Toronto's side. Very, very quick stuff from the admins. Uh-oh. Discord.
Oh, no.
Discord crashed, huh?
That is unfortunate. Bleeple with there, going in with the Earth Shatter, going to be able to get 3 on top of the first strike that you were mentioning. Something about this whole match in general, the aggression coming up from Toronto has been by far the biggest thing I should like really point out. They've been almost playing at the spawn in Ottawa, and Ottawa has taken advantage sometimes, you know, trying to get those early re-rotation of kills, trying to get those early re-rotation of picks. But overall, Toronto's just been playing super, super aggressively, not getting punished from this. It's something Ottawa has to really change up because, yeah, it's hard to get spawn cap at the door, especially on King of the Hill map. You're going to be held up at your spawn. You're not going to be able to get any points off on the board either. We'll see how Toronto kind of keeps on with this aggression because it looks like their MO, they're just going to play it this way no matter what. On the other hand, Ottawa, how are they going to answer this? That's going to be the question. I mean, should I ask you, how would you answer this aggression?
I mean, honestly, if I'm going to be real with you, dive comp. Like, play a more proper dive comp. I haven't seen this team play before, so obviously you got to play to your strengths. There's no point in playing a composition that you don't feel comfortable with. But, oh, the Gravitons are on top of each other. Everybody's sucked into the same situation. It's going to be a pulse bomb for one team, a barrage for the other. Everybody's dead. Almost everybody for both teams has been taken down in this engagement. It's a Reinhardt versus McCree. Only left on the point. The last man standing is Mr. Bleeple. Whoa.
But this gives the advantage for Ottawa at least to get over to the point. Bleeple will be the last man standing. Can he actually do anything to stagger out, to hold off? Primal Rage should be used up. I'm going to see Bleeple, everybody else coming back in.
All right, here comes Beat for Ottawa. It's going to give him a bit more survivability. Toronto, everyone from Toronto is actually quite low. Multiple people from Toronto have taken down so low in that fight. But still, Toronto fighting onwards. They're going to continue to hold on to the point. And this will be the second portion of Lijiang Tower going the way of Toronto.
Oh man, that little last engagement where everybody just stacked on top of the Graviton Surge. I was thinking Bleeple would actually accidentally kill himself, but he actually still got so many picks off him there. Kingsley not getting the ultimate to actually connect onto everything. He got good enough, but not enough kills right there at the end. With the Reinhardt standing, it was just too much, too little, too late for Ottawa to actually come out. And now in the last point, they really needed to stem the tide. The first map was really, really strong for both teams. This time, Lowlives has been just taking the advantage one by one. You gotta remember, Ottawa picked this map too, so that's kind of crazy too.
Yeah, we haven't seen a single Genji for either team. This is one of the points where I really, really, really do love playing Genji and seeing Genjis played, because all of this geometry, you can climb over it for such great cover. But neither team running anything like a dive competition. We mentioned earlier that Ottawa is playing with a stand-in who you said almost exclusively plays Roadhog. That might be why they're so hesitant to go the route of dive comp. First kill does go to Ottawa here though, 5v5 now as the fight rages onwards and everyone's moving closer to the point, which will unlock right here and now. Ottawa was in a better position, but they're dropping like flies, and Toronto has such a big advantage that there's no chance for Ottawa to take this. They'll have to be going back to the drawing board.
Yeah, Pineapples, I'd probably just say try to rotate out or just go off the edge. He's actually going to get staggered, so that's going to be unfortunate as well. Oni, everybody else going to try to back that up, but ooh, at least the trade-off coming out the big hole and take that one down.
Oh, Oni survived with the skin of his teeth. Thankfully, Anna's healing per second. Pretty good still. And Ottawa now with a slight advantage, pushing forward. They will have a earlier respawn, but a big Earthshatter knocks down 3. Bleeple is going to be hesitated for a second. Of course, because of the flashbang, but not enough.
Not enough indeed, and our first sight in the Boostio coming into play right over there. Funna having some fun with this one. And again, aggressive takes, aggressive picks. As you see Ottawa going down from the Lowlives with that first Earthshatter.
Well, Boostio's not that bad anymore, actually. Boostio's actually, it's actually not even like that bad at all. Like the Lucio could just wall ride and jump right into the enemy team, but here we go. Odie gonna get a pin onto Zarya, but his team did not follow. That said, big Earthshatter coming out. Odie trying to do it by himself. That was a bit unfortunate, and this is a trend. We've seen it probably 4 or 5 times now in this best of 5 or best of 7. We're only 2 maps in, but we've seen Oni charging in many times now where his team was not able to follow. So even though he hits a big Earthshatter, even though he gets a pin, his team can't follow up.
Yeah, as the conjoinous map, we do see Graviton Surge on top of the board. We do see the whole hog at least want to dissuade them, but the big Earthshatter right back, and we do see everybody else just kind of rotating back in. Ottawa has the advantage for this one.
Wow. Wow, you got to feel good about that if you're Ottawa. You just saw Graviton thrown out, an Earthshatter thrown out. Believe even, yeah, also the sound barrier. No, actually, I'm lying. But yeah, they were basically able to weather the storm just with Kip dropping a sound barrier there against 2 of the most powerful ultimates in the game. So Toronto kind of didn't get any good value from it, and giving Ottawa a chance to fight back.
See how it kind of goes up. We do see Pineapple's going to be at the first pick. 5v6 advantage. A layer on the backside. Getting a pack out for there. Oni and Placebo going to be able to rotate in. Nano Visor going to get. Or the attack visor.
Yeah, Nano Visor making it happen. Of course, they used a couple ultimates, but they will have ultimates for this next fight as well. So Ottawa, while they only have 35% on the board, they're going to be able to combo. They're going to be able to combo with a Graviton in a second here. They will have Roadhog ult pretty soon. Of course, Whole Hog and Graviton. It's a really, really nice combo. Oni trying for the Earthshatter right behind the enemy Reinhardt's shield, but he didn't quite get it. So close to getting it, but no dice. This is looking great for Toronto. They're getting all the kills that they need. And Toronto looks like they're going to be able to get a clean sweep here on Lijiang Tower. No chance left for Ottawa. Deadeye, Earthshatter, or excuse me, Graviton, everything being thrown out. The kitchen sink thrown out. And that's the second map going to Toronto in pretty dominant fashion.
There are some things that are very, very telling in this series. Although the first map over Kings Row, very, very even. Second map, the picks, they're getting picked off right well, and Toronto is taking advantage of this. Ottawa has the answer, and the boops are one of those things that can be answered right there. Nice one by Kip right there.
All right. I wonder where we'll be heading next. It's Ottawa's choice. We're now looking at a 0-2 advantage in the favor of Toronto. I wonder if Ottawa's going to continue going to King of the Hill, or will we be headed back to Payload? We'll find out in just a second.
I would hope it'd be Payload. And they need a little bit more openness in the map. Lijiang definitely did not suit them quite well. So hopefully, maybe Eichenwald. Yeah, Eichenwald.
Oh, there you go. It's going to be Eichenwald.
Hold on. I think it's no.
That was someone from Toronto picking. Come on, stop trolling me, Talon-S. Come on.
Very interested to see also Lowlives or University of Toronto. They've been switching out some of their roles in between Lair was McCree for most of the first map. Second map he played a little bit more of a tank role and doing Roadhog and doing other things. So this Toronto team, like you're saying, top 4 from most of the Tespa season last season, has been doing so well that they are trying out new things. I think they have 2 new players kind of rotating around for this one, and hopefully Lowlives can keep it going. On the other hand, Ottawa, it's hard. It's hard when you're spawn camp and or getting aggressively pushed upon, and you can't really answer it right now. Like you said, dive comp and meta picks would be helpful, but maybe it's just the team comps that they can't really run at the moment. Yeah. That's really hurting them.
Bird, I don't want to read too much into the individual SR of all of these different players, but that said, Ottawa's stand-in, T-Pineapples, he's actually sitting in Diamond right now. So he is significantly lower in terms of ranks than any other player on either team. So if you think about it, if Ottawa had their stand, I'm not sure what Turfel, what was that guy's name? I can't remember now. But Telfair. Okay, yeah, right. The original 6 that they wanted. If he was up in that 4K, 4.2K range, this could definitely be a different game. I mean, Kings Row is nail-bitingly close. So Ottawa, a little bit of a bummer. Maybe their proper 6th will show up at some point. Maybe they can find him or call him enough times that he finally picks up. Yeah. What's it going to be? What's the map pick?
It looks like
they said Ilias. Okay, yeah. All right.
Or Niagara Falls. That's what we're saying. This is a Canada matchup, so it makes sense. It'd be Niagara Falls / Ilias.
Yeah, there's no maps in Canada set in Canada. Now that I think about it,
unfortunately, soon TM, right? Blizzard.
Yeah, didn't Jeff say that we should expect like 3 more maps this year or something like that? I can't quite remember. It's kind of counterintuitive. I get excited when they add a new character to this game every time, but in a weird sort of way, I kind of get more excited about a brand new map. I don't know why. Maybe it's because like whenever a new character is introduced, it takes like 6 months for players to actually learn how to use them. So it's a little bit less of an immediate thing, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what new maps are coming. I think we're due for another one. It's been a while. Oasis was the last one, right? 2-3 months ago.
Yeah. New maps always bring up new strategies. Whenever you're like an analyst or something like that, you always want to find the perfect efficiency on a map. So it's really cool to get new maps in the sense that, hey, we have new things to play on. Obviously, for a player, that's really nice. But also for a team, it's not the same old that I've been practicing on also. Given new strategies, given new little bits of interesting evolution in the game will make everything even better. But for this one, we're back on the Ilias. See how we can boop it off again. Lucia is going to get bound, but will we see a traditional dive comp? That's really a question. Oh, wow. My.
It looks like we finally might see something that resembles a normal dive comp. Not quite so much out of Ottawa because they've got the Hog. This is, I'll be honest. I'm scratching my head at this Ottawa composition. Dive comp doesn't pack the same punch if you don't have a Winston. If you don't have that Winston to jump in with the Tracer, with the Genji. So this is a little bit awkward in my opinion. On the other side, we have the quintessential dive comp. This might as well be known as the Rogue comp here coming out for Toronto. They've got the full thing, 1 tank, 3 DPS with the Pharah, with the Genji, with the Tracer. This is as divey gets.
And they're going to have that situation where we can hopefully cut them down. Lowlives, Toronto, they just need 2 more to win out. Up 2-0 in the best of 7. See how the promotion will go. Lair, everybody else going to start in. Talon's going to get the first pick.
Wow, Lair with the extremely ballsy dash right into the face of Roadhog, but he reflected an entire Roadhog shotgun blast right into that the enemy Roadhog. So that was what opened it up. Lair got ballsy. He could have gotten hooked. He could have been out of position, but instead turned it all around and early advantage from Toronto.
Slicing and dicing. Nice little stuff coming out from the Genji. Lair played a lot of McCree, played a lot of DPS. Now going on the Genji. He's going to work with his team, try to cut down the masses. And everybody else is going to try to roam up. Do you see the Winston come back in? So we'll see if they can actually dive in, but they're just getting picked off. Excellent. Kingsley going to get that first pick off.
Yeah, not perfect coordination there. Winston went in a little bit by himself, and Roadhog really is the natural counter to Winston, and one of the few good ways of stopping an in-depth dive composition. But very close fight still, as both teams are dropping. Lethal again with the barrage, not able to get quite the value that I think is expecting there, but Ottawa will be able to take this. It's just a Winston left on the point. He's gonna primal rage, so stay alive a little bit longer. Here comes Zenyatta as well. Wow, little big hobo gets the boop, booping off somebody there. So what was almost a sure cap for Ottawa has actually maintained in favor for Toronto. Wow, did not expect that.
Yep, the stall coming up from Primal Rage, but we do see the take. Talon gonna be taken down over there. Lair gonna be the last one. Gonna get a revenge kill, but gonna be taken down as well. The stall just coming up from the team. Holy moly, Lowlives just trying to stay in and stay out.
That's honestly, that's super unfortunate for Ottawa. They had a massive advantage. It was only Zenyatta and a Winston versus 3 or 4. So I think they had a 2-man advantage for the majority of that time. But still, finally able to flip it. Finally able to flip it once Toronto now up to 80% here on Ilios. So still fighting chance. But if Li Jiang was any tell for what this map is going to be like, it's going to be an uphill battle. Especially against the proper dive comp. I think it's just so strong on all King of the Hill points for the most part, but particularly on Ilios.
I have to agree with that standpoint, but this time we're going to see Ottawa do the same things that Toronto was doing in the last map, trying to be aggressive, but now they're coming back to the point. Can't really contain the dive comp inside their base if they're just going to run you. So we'll see how it goes. Ultimate advantage coming out still for Lowlives right now. We'll see how Toronto wants to attack this one from the other side.
All right. Here comes the dive. It's going to be Lil Big Bro, or wait, Lil Big Hobo. God, that's not an easy name to say. Diving in first. Here comes the Transcendence, keeping everyone alive. Mr. Bleeple is very low, but Trance bringing him right back up. Lil Big Hobo gets that first kill, and this is spiraling out of control for the team of Toronto. Big Graviton, well, medium Graviton sucks it too, but Ottawa already had such a big man disadvantage that Graviton almost a little bit wasted. I can't fault it too much because Toronto's already up to 80%. You got to try everything you can to keep it, but in a way, you can fault it because T Pineapples could have held that Graviton for this last fight. It could have been what flips it in the end. Still one chance for Ottawa though. They got Sound Barrier to engage. Here comes Sound Barrier coming in. They also have Primal Rage if they need it. Both teams gonna drop the Sound Barrier as the fight rages on here on the point.
Yeah, not a few members on the point though. We're gonna see a split up from now. Ottawa gonna be able to take out most of the team yet again. That's unfortunate. We see Lowlives are gonna be able to kind of hold off, but this should be good enough for Ottawa to hold on.
Ooh. Yeah, they've done it for now. Ottawa holding on to a string at this point. One flip will be all Toronto needs. That said, they only have one chance left. It all comes down to this next engagement. Ultimates looks fairly even for both sides. Neither team stacked at all. And finally, after holding on to the true dive comp, the quintessential dive comp, we're going to have a switch up. So Ottawa gets the first kill. Bleeple looking for value, doesn't get it. Only one kill. And Ottawa has struck back. They will take the first point on Ilios.
Yeah, Henry going to try to dissuade, but he's going to get found out like Waldo. It's found inside, and that is going to be Ottawa's first point on this one. Oh, no. Didn't it actually hold off Primal Rage? This could
not
be
like
a little bit of a trickle. Again. Oh, no. Ottawa let off the pedal.
Well, it's still definitely in their favor. It would be a miracle at this point. But if I was on Ottawa, I'd be like, oh, God. Not again. No, please. But there you go. Ottawa taking that first point here on Ilios.
Scary little thing right there at the end. But yeah, that was actually the biggest thing about this one. The trickle fact coming in from Little Big Hobo's Winston. Getting the Primal Rage, going to be able to get everybody kind of holding up in there. It's kind of a kind of lackadaisical mood right there from Ottawa. They've been doing some really good things in this match, and they have to keep going, but they have to keep up the pressure, or they're going to find themselves out of this one, down 0-3.
All right, neither team running the dive comp, which makes sense. Obviously, Roadhog on this point can be so strong. You can hook a whole lot of people into that pit during the course of one of these maps. That's obviously what both teams are looking to do with their compositions. This is actually one of the few points where you can see Orisa come out, try to zoop people into that pit also with her right click. Not this time. Oh, there's the first hook coming out for Lair, who's now on the Roadhog. Winston for Ottawa. Oni almost fell into the pit. Luckily, he had his jump back up. That's a great early advantage. Oh, Placebo in the back lines. What's Placebo doing all the way back here? He's able to even this up. So it was a 6 versus 5 for Toronto, but Placebo putting the team on his back. He's going to make this even. It's now still even. Both teams trading time and time again here. Placebo almost has his Pulse Bomb already. Will he be able to get a good stick with the Pulse Bomb? He's going to have it up in just a second here. He's looking for the stick. He's throwing it to everybody. No dice, though. Toronto eking out advantage. Ottawa, they're valiant. That was a valiant effort. I'll say that much. And it still is a valiant effort. They're still trying. Can they get another hog hook? Oh, wow. This fight has been very interesting indeed. Neither team captured the point yet. And actually, Toronto, or excuse me, Ottawa, making a great case for themselves to take first capture here after being down very substantially.
Placebo with that pick is able to kind of stand this out. Still no one taking out the point. Placebo is still in the back line. Doing his things that is Strax. Oni going to be able to go aggressive as well. Placebo going to be able to back it up. Earthshatter going down on the point though. Bleeple trying to dissuade them. And oh no, we do see the Anna go down to the pit.
How long has this point been contested? Neither team has captured it yet. This has been insane, but Toronto finally, this has to be enough, right? They've had an advantage like 3 times, but they're finally going to capture it in the end. Start taking on up here on Wealth. Yeah, that was a fun fight, man. That was a fun fight to watch it cast.
Ultimate on ultimate on ultimate. Yeah. It just kept on going and going for sure.
Yeah. Oh, great hook. Oh, Kip survives though. How does Kip survive that one? Lair, missing the buckshot. And Oni gonna strike back. So Ottawa with a great opportunity here, dropping the sound barrier on both sides. Now the engagement will begin, but down 1 for Toronto. So Ottawa surely eking out enough advantage here to capture the point.
Yeah, we're able to get off the mistakes coming out from the lives, and we're going to see the backup yet again. Kif with a sound boop, and going to be able to get a double kill at the end. Lucius coming in damage. Oh my. Terror in 2017.
Placebo has not died, has he? I'm pretty sure Placebo has not died yet on this point. Maybe once at most. This guy's been a pest.
Always good with that Tracer. It has been doing enough. Oni has to follow it up half the time, and that's why the aggression kind of is going to have to be coming up from him. But this time with the Reinhardt, he has to slow down.
Watch for Nanovisor here. Here it comes. Nanovisor come from the side, and this is going to do all the value that they needed. Everybody is going to drop in this next engagement. Oni just with a sliver of health. Toronto recapturing the point.
Kev going to be able to get it out of there. Or never mind. They're going to be able to get the hook and a reset yet again in the fight. Nice little stuff coming out from both teams, but it's been back and forth so far. Fish Sticks is going to keep it going. We're going to have to see if one team can actually defend out onto the well point.
It seems like every time these teams engage, it flips. We'll see if that holds true again. A huge hook coming from Kagsy. Funata brought out of the fight. Ultimates all over the place, but a huge anti-heal. I saw ultimates go down left, right, and center, but the anti-heal might have been the most important factor in that fight there. all of Ottawa turned purple. I gotta say, man, anti-heal still has got to be the strongest non-ultimate ability in this game, maybe by far. Like that nade is incredible, and Lair gets an early kill on Placebo there, and ticking closer and closer to 100%. Toronto getting quite close in Ottawa. They will only have one chance left. And you talked about the aggression from this team. Look at the positioning here coming out of Talon S. He's all the way behind them.
All the way behind, and we do see him there, and everybody else just chasing down the team pineapples. They're already almost at the spawn. It is going to be done and over with pretty soon. They have to try to just go around, but no, it's not enough. Lowlives. Universe of Toronto going to tie up 1-1 on this one, but ooh, we have overtime coming out, but it's not going to be enough.
Certainly not. And we're going to tie it up here on Ilios in just a second, and barring some kind of insane miracle, nope, this is going to go the way of Toronto. Yeah, just here. All right, 1-1 here on Ilios, map number 3 in the best of 7. You are tuned into the sounds of fish sticks and bird casting for you, the Tespa training grounds. We're watching a promotion match right now. Winner of this will secure their place in the arena for the next week. Loser dropped down to skirmish. There's only one more chance to stay in arena, so the loser of this won't be down and out for the playoffs necessarily, but of course, you want to stay in arena. Right now, the way it works is there are 12 teams waiting in arena, and we have 4 more that will join the fray. This is one of those one of the teams here will be joining the 12 that are currently sitting pretty in the arena right now, with the likes of UC Berkeley, who won the Tespa Collegiate Series most recently. We'll see who comes out on top. Certainly seems like Toronto has had the advantage in every map. This is the first map where Ottawa really has struck first. We'll see if they can keep up with that momentum.
Again, posturing on the point, nothing really able to see that is different. The first Placebo going to be picking up the Widowmaker. Open map, going to be able to get some pot shots whenever you can. Been a really big menace to University of Toronto, so if they can get him down, that'd be nice. People are going to be able to get hooked up. But we're going to see point going to be opened up, and we're going to see if Kingsley and everybody else can come out from Ottawa to try to pick it down.
Wow, this is interesting. Placebo is hitting shot after shot after shot after shot, but not getting any kills. He's not charging them up enough. He's not getting the headshots, and his team is not able to combo with them. So this is probably one of the best points for Widowmaker in the entire game, to be quite honest. And Placebo's been hitting the shots. Just no value coming from it just yet.
No value. We'll probably see him switch back to the Tracer pretty soon. I mean, that's where he has been his forte. That's been his big MVP play. So yeah. Hopefully.
Well, he does have wall hacks here in just a second.
Aggressive spawn take yet again. Toronto just playing way aggressively, keeping it up, trying to just hold him down.
All right. Here comes the wall hacks. The entirety of Ottawa will have the full knowledge of where Toronto are hiding. That said, look at all the ultimates up for Toronto. They're about to have, well, frankly, they're about to have all 6 of them. Not super close to ultimate at this point. So I don't see any way that Ottawa comes out on top here. In fact, Toronto only uses 2 ults to get the clean sweep there. It's still holding on to 4 more ultimates for this next fight. And that said, if Ottawa can play their cards right, they will have, at very worst, an even ultimates in this next fight, if not actually a significant advantage.
Let's see how they can go in. They probably want to start up. Oh, but the pick is okay. Hobo going to be taken down. And we do see the sound barriers go down as well. Kingsley going to be taking it off from the backside, and Talon just raining down on the damage on the backside. Be able to get some more. Graviton Search going to restart the fight. We see Lair, everybody else going to be reset as well. Ottawa, if we withstand the storm, they're going to be able to get to the point. Can they capture it?
I think we just saw 10 ultimates in that last fight. Because there were 5 for Ottawa there, 4 for Toronto. All of them got used. That is what ZP calls an ultimate showdown for good reason. Ottawa has captured the point, but they won't have any resources to work with. Neither team really with any resources to work with. So it's going to be an old school fight, fisticuffs. This is like the FPS games of yore before ultimates. Here we go. They're just going to duke it out.
Smashing buttons onto their faces, and we'll see how they can actually finish up in the end. Still, Lowlives does have the advantage in the sense that they have the percentage advantage. So it should be enough for people, everybody else, to be able to get some picks.
Oh, Toronto's catching the point. You got to be on there, guys. You got to fight on the point. If you're going to fight and lose, you still got to be fighting on it. And I don't even know if there's any chance for Ottawa left. They may just barely be able to get back, but I don't think so. Oh, Placebo's the last one alive. He's surviving longer than expected, so looks like Roadhog could have had a chance, but he's going to be charged off. Toronto getting the second capture here on Ilios in the third map of the series. Now Toronto up 2-0, so if they win this next round, there will be one game away from taking this best of 7 and maintaining their position in the arena.
Ottawa has shown up so many good fights, but in the end, a little bit of lack of communications sometimes has kind of hurt them. It's kind of tough to say. We can see them kind of coming out of this, but there's always hope. There's always another game, and there's always still this one. Enough for this one. It's 2-1 into the game score right now for Ilios. Hopefully, we'll see Ottawa kind of come in. They've been trying out this dive comp in the sense that, yeah, it's sort of divey, but not really the true standard of that. And on the other hand, Lowlives, I mean, they've been playing with anything and everything, and they've shown that they can adapt.
Okay, we actually have Oni switching on to Genji, so I still feel like this is weird. You got the DPS aspect of a dive comp, but your tanks are immobile and slow as hell. So you're gonna have 2 flankers, but they're not gonna have any tank support. That said, Kingsley does come out with the early pick, making me eat my words as Funana taken out of the fight. Lair above, but no kills yet. And Ottawa with a really dominant first fight here, mainly off that early hook.
Yeah, Casey with that first pick was being able to take over there. Lair still taking a lot of pot shots onto the team of Ottawa. Still living out his dream, but he can't really do too much from there. Nice little loop off it.
Wait,
we'll see.
What's happening here?
Another trickle effect.
Wait, what is happening? Ottawa had an insane advantage there.
5-2.
I didn't think there was a chance for Toronto. Yet, what? Okay, I was actually I like stopped watching the main fight because I thought it was over. I was watching Mr. Bleeple get chased down there, so I actually don't even know what just happened. But Ottawa's got to be kicking themselves for losing that incredible advantage.
It's a 5v2, and later everybody else just trickled in and made sure that they can actually stay close to the player, contested as much, and well, I do see Toronto taking up first little point capture. Kingsley gonna be trickled out in the end. Ottawa just in disarray right now.
Yeah, that. I'm still hung up on that last fight. I don't know what happened. I gotta go back to watch the tape. That was ridiculous. Ottawa back to the drawing board, and they're in a really bad position, not just in this game, but in this series. If they lose this, they are on the ledge of going back down to skirmish, which is not a place where they want to be. They want to be hanging out in the arena with the big boys, like UC Berkeley. Quite a few great, talented teams up there. Oh wow, look at the aggression so far forward. You talked about it before, Bird. We're seeing it again. It basically, well, that's an interesting blade coming out here from Oni. I don't know if I agree with that. Your team was already down 4 players, or 3, I think. 3 in that engagement. Throwing out the blade seems like a bit of a waste. Perhaps he'll be switching things up.
I would think he would always switch it up. He just tried to get something out of there from his Dragon Blade. Yeah, there hasn't been any sense of pace coming out from Ottawa. They don't have any control of this one, but Oni still stayed on with the Genji as well. Oh my. This is not looking well, but Lowlives / University of Toronto still playing aggressively, but holding up well.
Placebo misses the pulse bomb as well. Big Earthshatter gonna knock down a couple, but a nice hook there coming from Kangzi. Hook into the whole hog combo with the nano boost as well. It's giving Ottawa an advantage that they haven't had in quite some time. It's going to be equalized though. It's going to be striking back. It's 4 versus 4 now on the point. The last chance for Ottawa though, they have to stay on the point. They have to make it happen. Placebo, can he be the hero for his team? It's still a, you know, Ottawa grabbed the point in the middle of that, was able to flip it, but Lair has done too much work. How does Lair do this all on his own? Lair, in a way, has been the MVP, especially here on Ilios, especially here on this point with the Pharah play. And honestly, like, I don't even think this is the best point for Pharah. Once you're in the area of the capture point, you know, you're basically right in the face of the enemy team. Pharah, without much room to maneuver, isn't very good, but Lair, way too much value off that last engagement.
Yeah, he was not getting questioned at all. We do see Oni with the play of the match yet again. Comboing ults off of 10 ults is pretty good. Oni gonna hit the credit for this one. But yeah, the University of Toronto, their DPS is doing really well. We talked about Lair with the McCree in the first map, and this one with the Pharah, just outmaneuvering, out-killing, and doing so many things to keep the ties still on low lives. University of Toronto now up 3-0 on this best of 7.
All right, it's the final map for Ottawa.
Possibly.
Final chance to stay alive. It's their pick again, but it looks like we will be taking a 5-minute break. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. My name is Fish Sticks. I am joined by Bird today. We are casting for you the Tespa training grounds to see who will go on up and who will drop. Right now, it's certainly looking like Ottawa will be the one to drop down into skirmish, barring some kind of big turnaround. Perhaps, maybe they could find a way to wake up their last 6th player that they were hoping to have, so they don't have to play with substitute. Maybe that could be the turnaround, and they can do the reverse sweep. But yeah, we'll find out in 5 minutes as we do take a short break. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Traveling to Dorado.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the Tespa Training Ground promotional match between University of Toronto and University of Ottawa. Winner of this will maintain their position in the arena, move on up, and the loser will move on down. It's a promotion match, and there's a lot on the line for these teams as we move closer and closer to the finale of this season of the Tespa Collegiate Series. So, my name is Fishsticks, joined by Bird, and we'll be casting for you right now on Dorado. Currently, University of Toronto has a massive advantage and has looked rather dominant at times throughout this match. I mean, some of the games have been close. Some moments have been hype and very interesting and exciting and close. But for the most part, Bird, it has been fairly one-sided.
Yep, Toronto has definitely been the aggressors of this one. Ottawa have tried to answer time and time again, and unfortunately, just has not hit up for this one. 0-3 right now, in advantage, like you were saying. We'll see how Lowlives / University of Toronto. I mean, they've been playing quite well. Will they keep up this advantage on the defensive side for this one? There's going to be Ottawa. Lowlives going to be on the aggressive side with an interesting comp. Do they want to stick with that?
All right, taking a look at the defense, it's about as standard as it gets. Triple tank with the 76, going to be holding on to the high ground. We'll have to see what Toronto picks on attack. Is this going to be a proper Hanzo pick? We're really going to see Hanzo here. All right. He may switch off if he doesn't get any value, but of course, early on in the game, it is kind of nice to get the scatter arrow and the sonic arrow in there to try to get some visibility. And already, Ottawa pushed back. They're going to have to hold under the arches. Of course, holding under the arches is one of the best places to hold. You know, there aren't that many flanking angles. And there's a big charge coming out for T Pineapple. But his team, actually, Ottawa holding strong here under the arches.
They're going to be able to pick up on 3. Yes, the aggressiveness has come in from the Reinhardt, but T Pineapple is going to be opening up the hole. We're going to hold off right under the arch again. Chokeholds are very important in this game. You have a point where you can only have 1 or 2 openings to actually attack from. It's very, 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 very good, and that's why we see most people try to defend out over in the arch. See how Toronto wants to re-aggressive on this, and Ottawa, which is holding enough time, idly B. No pickoffs over there, and Talon gonna get picked off the backside.
All right, the Hanzo pick paying off here now as they get Kiff out of the action early. There's going to be a nano boost on the Reinhardt, and T Pineapples actually gets some nice value out of that Earth Shatter. Still, though, the fight rages on. It's still quite even. Both teams with just a few people left. It's 2 versus 3 on the point. Ottawa is in a bad spot. Placebo behind the point. He's not even in a position to jump on it and delay. And that is going to be the first checkpoint captured here from Toronto. Not much friction either. Ottawa held once, but then the rest of it was really all Toronto all day. And now it's on Ottawa to try and get this high ground. T Pineapples not going up there though. So we have both Zarya and Roadhog moving on up. T Pineapples and a Lucio by themselves here on the ground. If I were Pineapples, I would be moving my way up there a little bit earlier. He's kind of in no man's land right now.
No man's land, indeed. But yeah, we'll see how this is going to come out. We had the pick off on the Kingsley, but Kingsley can he actually do anything else? Attack visor going to go down. Okay,
here comes the Nano Visor, one of the best ultimate combos in the game of Overwatch, getting the value that they need all by themselves, basically. Placebo drops down with the flank and gets those 2 kills. Basically by himself, basically for free. So well done to get the first stop here, and still a couple of ultimates up here for Ottawa. So they did drop 2, but not fully down and out yet. They actually still have more ultimates than the attacking team of Toronto. That said, Toronto does have Dragon and Graviton combo. If you look at Ottawa, they're not very bunched up. Well, now just as I say that, they're getting a little bit bunched up now. We could see the Dragon eat some faces if we see a big grab. And yes, it is. Here comes the Dragon, and he's second now. Indeed, it is on point. Everybody's going to start melting really fast in that fight, but not quite fast enough. It's actually still even. Gravitons for both sides got some work done, and Kangxi's actually the one really doing the most work. So a little bit late on the trigger there for the Dragon. Wasn't able to get as much damage as you would hope, as the Graviton did dissipate there. And Ottawa, they weathered the storm. Both teams dropped all of their ultimates in that fight. So Ottawa has come out on top.
Yeah, Kingsley with another little flank over there, but Talon's going to be able to pick that one up. Kingsley with the 3K/4K from that one, so we'll see if they can keep it going, but they have to make sure that they get the flanks when they can. There's a nice little combo play coming up from Talon's and Little Big Hobo, but in the end, still hold for Ottawa, but it's still pretty close.
Oh, Kif is so low, he gets hit by a dragon, or an arrow from Hanzo there, is able to back off to his Reinhardt shield. Interesting positioning for Toronto. They've decided to go all the way around the top to take the high ground control, and they've been able to do that effectively here so far. The first kills are going out. Lair does get the first pick. Placebo will respond, though, with a double. So Ottawa, despite having a poor positioning there, they've managed to hold.
Also, indeed, they're still split up in every other way. So Placebo's still raining hail on the top side, everybody else on the bottom side for Ottawa. So they're keeping up what they can. Playing a little bit aggressively. They probably want to go back a little bit further. Toronto, they haven't been really cohesive in their actual fight. Where do they want to actually attack? Do they want to attack the DPS on the top side? Do they want to go onto the tanks on the bottom side? That's really the question Toronto has to do. They have to clean them up quick.
We're looking towards another Graviton Dragon combo here. Like literally 1 or 2 more arrows will be all Talon S needs to get the dragon, and then they'll look to find some way to engage. Look, Lair playing sneaky. Lair looking for the flank. He hasn't been caught out yet. Oh, he might be though. Oh, great kill to open things up for Toronto to make this fight go in his favor. And could you see that dragon come out? Yes, here comes the dragon. A little bit late again, but this time getting the kills that it needs. Toronto will be able to push forward. A little bit of delay coming out though. Kingsley has been a hero for his team. And because he got that kill, there may just be an opportunity for Ottawa to try for one more stop here. They do have closer spawns here to this point, and so they actually have an advantage in this fight. Ottawa, one more chance to stop this. And there's a big Earth Shatter coming out. It only knocks down 1, but sometimes that's all you need as the engagements begin.
T-Pineapple is going to be able to try to delay out more, but the boosted D.Va going to be able to stroll it up. Tank Line's going to be able to stagger it down, so this should be Ottawa's take yet again. Kingsley didn't get the hook this time, but at least going to be dissuading the team, and Little Big Hobo just getting staggered even more. Be able to get killed out in the end. Ottawa's still holding on the second point, and we don't have that much time for Toronto for this one.
Yeah, Toronto hasn't gotten very far. I mean, this has been a slow push. You know, it can be difficult to unroot solid defense up here on the high ground at times. Can be very difficult. Placebo, though, huge kill. It's a reversal of fortunes from the last time those two 1v1 each other, as Placebo now opening this up for his team. But there is no time left. Oh, Earthshatter is going to negate that huge Graviton. Graviton sucks to 2 or 3, but the Earthshatter actually keeps them all alive. So even though the Graviton was big and Placebo got the first kill in that fight, Toronto is still in it. They're still trying. It's still slightly in favor here of Ottawa. They will be dropping out more ultimates indeed, keeping that advantage in their favor. And another big Earthshatter coming out. This is actually hard to call though. Ottawa still with an advantage. Toronto not in a great position. Funana the last one on the point. They need some big play here, but I got to give it up to Kingsley here on Toronto. Kingsley was a playmaker time and time again for Ottawa. And what did you think about that round, Bird? Pretty good stuff out of Ottawa on defense.
Placebo and Kingsley were the biggest plays from there. Placebo wasn't really questioned and got a lot of DPS, but Kingsley, he has so many hooks to really turn the tide in many of the matches. And he was playing the the lurker hard blue role of just going around, getting picks whenever he can. But when he was needed most, he stepped up and delivered. So good stuff coming up from Ottawa for this one. They really need it because they're down 3 games in this series. So some fortune coming in through their favor. On the other hand, though, Toronto playing a little bit out of the ordinary from the concept we've seen so far. I mean, the Hanzo pick stayed in, tried through, and Talons, sometimes it worked out, but most times it didn't really do too much. So we'll see how this one switches up as we do get a pause again.
All right, Ottawa. Someone's resetting or something as we will be getting into potentially the last half of the day. That said, Ottawa, that was a great defense. I mean, that is more than beatable. Whenever you get a defense like that, you got to feel pretty confident when you're switching on over to attack. However, I've seen much crazier things than a defense that can. I mean, you can hold on the first point. Let's be honest, it's very possible, and we are in a couple minute delay, so hopefully nothing's being spoiled here. But Talon S, for Toronto, going to be playing on May. And this is a good point for May. We were talking about that early choke point on the first checkpoint. That choke under the arches can be entirely blocked off by a May ice wall. It can be very, very frustrating to get through there if you're not coordinated, if you're not smart about it. Yeah, so we'll see if that May is able to stop folks in their tracks on the first point. And it's happened before. It's certainly not out of the realm of possibility for Toronto to beat that defensive hold. That said, Ottawa in about as good of a position as they could have asked for.
I mean, they had a very unfortunate first hold where it didn't really show up too much, but in the second part of the map, they did so well, trying to do everything that they can to feed up the Kingsley, feed up the placebo, and it worked out well. Can they do the same things for this next point? We'll see if they stick with mostly what they were running with before. On the other hand, like you were saying, the May wall, when you get those staggers, when you get these separation between your take line from your DPS, such as your support line, it's so big. And once you get those picks, it can demoralize the team. You got to remember, still three games down, anything could tilt the team of Ottawa. So it's very, very key for Toronto to try to stem that momentum that Ottawa is trying to build up right now.
Yeah, and we talked about the kind of interesting composition, most notably with the Hanzo for Toronto. You get the feeling that they're perhaps a little bit overconfident with that pick. But still, like we mentioned, plenty of opportunity for them to hold on the first point under that first choke point. It's happened before. So can they do it here? And hopefully we get this game going soon. It looks like Toronto doesn't have too much time to play with today. So hopefully we can get this going. Not really sure why we're still paused, but we'll get this going as quickly as we can. And thanks everyone for joining us today here on Tachyon's channel. Make sure to give it a follow if you want to see more collegiate action. Stay tuned right here, and we'll be getting into this game in just a second. Of course, we want to be sympathetic to any issues potentially happening on this side of Ottawa. But there are rules in this tournament, and rules are rules. So looks like Toronto is trying to put the pressure on. A little bit of banter going on in the chat here.
All right. Yeah. I mean, both teams actually have had a little bit of issues with connection. Toronto actually, before this match actually started up, Lair and Bleepy actually had a disconnect and reconnect into the game. I won't say anything about the Canadian internet. I've heard it's not the greatest, but I've heard some good things as well. Hopefully that's not the case, but we're going to go back into the game for the permission rounds.
All right, what's it going to be on attack? Really standard stuff again. This is the composition Ottawa's really been sticking to most of the time. Triple tank with the 76 to round things out for TPS. On the other side, Toronto on defense, rocking the May. We'll see how that affects things here. No Hanzo this time. But yeah, May can be an absolute pain to deal with if you're positioning yourself right, if you have the spidey senses for when they're all going to push through, and you can section them off if they're coming through the archway. You can actually section them off even if they're coming through the flanking side. On the right-hand side as well. If they come down the stairs, a May Ice Wall will also cover that in its entirety. So a May in the right positioning can just be an absolute pain. That's one of the reasons why I think we do see a lot of Pharah on this map. There isn't a ton of wiggle room, but Pharah is really good against Symmetra if you choose her on defense, really good against May as well. But enough talk. We're jumping into the game, Bird, and we'll see how Ottawa comes out swinging with this composition.
Again, 3 down. Let's see if Ottawa can actually win out this one. They just have to pass it through the second point, and we'll see how it goes.
I see why they needed to pause. It looks like Kingsley is either having internet issues or IRL something or other. Kingsley not in the fight, so this is actually a 5 versus 6, unfortunately, for Ottawa here. That's the last thing that they needed in this situation. Already down 3 maps. This is rough.
Very rough indeed. You probably see the first pick off right there. Kif gonna get Dragon Strike down, and This is probably the aggression that we're gonna see, but oh my word. It's just unfortunate. Sometimes things happen, and this one, it's looking pretty good for Toronto as they try to close out the series.
Yeah, and every second gone here is a big deal. Kangxi is left the game, unfortunately. I've got to assume it's internet issues at this point. That is such a bummer. Ottawa, their last chance, maybe thwarted before it even began. Now we're seeing if can we squeeze some sportsmanship out of this Toronto team. Of course, if they do decide to stick with the rules, you can't fault them too much. Rules are rules, but it's like they're on a tight time frame here, and they're gonna keep fighting this out. No more pauses. Oh man, what a bummer for Ottawa. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, indeed. Oh my word. Can't really do too much about it, but we're gonna see the cleanup yet again. Who's gonna need the most frags? That's the question. Lair. I mean, he's been the MVP for most of the series, pretty much the whole series indeed. He's done such a great job, but can't be stated. Toronto as a team has been playing so well. Communication, obviously, but the aggression has been the biggest thing I've seen from this group.
All right, we'll see. Can Ottawa get a consolation prize, maybe a moral victory? Can they get this first checkpoint regardless of the fact that they're down 1? Oh, no, Kangxi is back. Kangxi is back, and he's moving. We've got a game, folks. 1 minute 50 on the clock. Bad time for Ottawa to miss that first 2 minutes here on Dorado, but still a chance to make it happen.
Get some picks, get some pulls. Hopefully we can see it and get them right through. But Toronto still have the ultimate advantage as well. And the split up advantage. Here we go with the sound barriers. Let's see how it goes down. But the Biz are going to be able to section off everybody else. Can't even get on the point, but the Earth Shatter not being that too effective. You know, hold off everybody. 1-for-1 trade for now.
Oh my goodness. Wow, what an absolutely massive Graviton stuck in 4, but there was no follow-up damage. So Oni, unfortunately for Ottawa, they hit the grab of the Sentry, the exact grab that they wanted to hit, but there's no follow-up. So that means they have no grab for the next fight, and only a minute remains. It all comes down to this, and they have no ultimates to their name, whereas they have Toronto on defense has a Nano Visor, of all things.
Too many things going in the favor. You're gonna have the Nano Visor, but layered even on the hop side. You can just filter all the damage you want to without even the Nano Visors. You see their Shatter go down and the damage coming out. Steve's gonna be able to get the Dead Eye, so he's gonna stand this. The Nano Visor going down.
How do you stop this? You don't. The Nano Visor is too strong. And we are now down to what is quite literally the last possible chance for Ottawa. They have to get on the point. They have to push it, and they cannot leave it. And they probably have what, like, they have like 50 meters to go. They have to push it like 50 plus meters. Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Rough indeed, but we'll see if they can actually do that. They have to hold on this fight, but they have so much going against them. Even Talon's gonna switch up to a Sombra is gonna be able to dissuade them even more. Whole lot going down. Kangxi gonna be stepped up, and we're gonna see the push up. But here we go with the re-engage. It's gonna happen pretty soon.
Yup. That is almost enough to call it here, but we do have a couple of support ultimates now coming up for Ottawa. The ultimate is coming up from Mr. Bleeful as well. Oh, this is another good Graviton, but no follow-up. The Gravitons have not been working out for Ottawa. Even if you suck into 3, 4, 5 people at once, you don't have the follow-up damage, you're not going to make it happen. And unfortunately for the Ottawa fans out there, that is going to be 0-4 in favor of Toronto, coming out with the win in this promotion match for the Tespa training grounds. This means that University of Toronto is going to sit pretty in the arena, while still not out of it yet for Ottawa. They're still going to have a chance later on in the tournament. They drop down to skirmish for now, but they'll be able to potentially fight back next week in the promotions then. Bird, pleasure casting with you, man. Any final thoughts on the match that we saw today before we end up closing this one out?
Great play coming out from both teams. Unfortunate for the ending part of the result. There's still really good stuff coming out from pretty much all the players. Even T-Pineapple, the stand-in in there, just doing so many good things for the match. Overall, congratulations to the University of Toronto and Fishsticks. It was a pleasure as well. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Well, if you're just tuning in now, the one game to watch was definitely King's Row. That was super exciting, super close. The rest of the match, not quite as close, but in the end, Ottawa's not out of it yet, so keep on fighting, guys. We'll see you next week in the promotions then. I think that's going to do it for us, unless Tachyon has any last words to throw out to the stream or any last promotions. I think that will be it. Tachyon. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure casting. We will see you next time for more collegiate action.